Come on!
God damn it.
Wow, we really thinned out.
Come on!
What?
Come on!
If you keep fussing with it, Sugar, they're gonna fall out.
I know. This is bad. I have to fix it.
What, babe? You moving closer? Yeah, moving closer. You see it? One of these days you gotta fix
You gotta bring it a little lower. You're shorter than you think, Colleen.
So you're gonna look at the camera and
Donnie's impression of taking a plane.
Come on!
I just realized that when it says Chris T, it looks like Christ is on the show.
Ah.
Well, he is in a way.
What up, my sinners?
He is always with us.
Jesus Christ.
I actually had somebody call me that at a doctor's office once because they had my name as Chris T, but she didn't notice the space, so she just called out Christ. Nothing makes an 8-year-old head bigger.
All right, let's all pretend like we're playing the theme song. Someone take drums.
Come on!
You took him.
dick.
All right, I'm doing the bass.
I'm
The
playing
bassist is always
pedal.
so. Oh, all right. Why is the bassist always so bored? He's like,
Because he plays the bass, but he gets all the women.
oh, remix.
The
All right, spin it.
the concert's just foreplay for the basses.
All right, I'm going back to lead guitar. 'Cause it's,
The lead guitarist is the one with the heroin habit and the 6 kids in 5 cities.
Oh man, we full today. I don't think we can get any more people in this hot tub to swim.
That's what she
We got a
said.
full show for you coming up. You're gonna love it. I feel good energy tonight. Everyone's in a good mood. Everyone's talkity before we start. So you never know what's gonna happen. This portion of the show brought to you in part by Memorable Lights. Also, our friends at Lip Sense, Glamour and Gloss by Colleen's friend. If you need to get some lip sense and some makeup, hit her up. Extreme Class Limousines, my friend Guy. Grocery Guy. He's getting groceries right now because the limo business kind of sucks, but he'll be back in the limo business soon. He's got a bunch of limos, and also he's doing groceries. So if you need groceries and you don't want to go out where all the scoundrels are and get Rona all over you, it's disgusting. Then stay in and have Guy get Rona all over him. He's not disgusting. Here we go.
let's take a Rona.
And now, our
Rona.
feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
Andrew Z. I love that Andrew Z. I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z.
In Friends.
the morning,
Yeah.
Come on.
We got a great show for you tonight. Thank you so much. We got guests, we got surprises, and we got a full crew in the upper corner. Chris Tiefel, everybody. In the other upper corner. See, I don't know how you guys are looking at it, so I can't say left or right.
We're seeing
Danny
the same.
Crumb. In the center squares towards under Tiefel, laying under Tiefel is a power bottom, Sugar Vermont. On the other side of Colleen, who's not here yet, south side Gina, Donnie P, Jake Dickey, Holly, our producer.
Andrew Z.
In the morning.
Oh man, I couldn't even get everyone in. There's so many people before.
You ran out of time.
I've had that problem before.
Never.
So it's funny because I was listening to last night's replay as I was setting it up for podcasts. You know, if you don't get us live, well, of course you can. It's up on the page all day till the next one or whatever. But also you can get it as a podcast, so you don't have to. If you don't care about the video, you can download it favorite podcast, whether it's iHeartRadio or Google Tunes or Apple Tunes or Spotify, whatever. Anyway, I was listening to it, and for some reason, even when your mics aren't up and the theme is playing, we can hear you guys. So it's funny to hear hear you guys doing commentary.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, it's super hysterical. And you know what it reminds me of?
What?
This guy over the weekend, I don't know if you guys saw it, he's a NASCAR guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Larson, right?
Yeah, his last name's Larson.
On a
Yeah.
midget game.
And he's a NASCAR guy. And this is how hard up dudes are for sports right now. They're watching dudes play video games. So NASCAR drivers.
Esports was getting big before this.
Really? So
Yes.
the NASCAR.
It's not sports.
NASCAR is watching. NASCAR people are driving NASCAR sports on video games, and people are sitting at home watching them on the television. Go ahead, Jake.
So my buddy, what he does for a living is he actually makes the wraps on race cars, and he's actually having to get their images to send to them, and he gets another guy who puts them on their digital race cars. So some of the race cars that you're seeing, my buddy's actually designed, and they're putting them on there.
Oh, that is really cool. Sugar Vermont, go ahead.
No, Jake, that's awesome. But when you said you had friends who designed wraps for race cars, at first I thought you meant like some Nicki Minaj shit. Like, go fast! Get up fast in my core.
Go fast.
I I don't give a fuck. I'm at the bar. That's actually pretty good.
That is really good. Will you write that down?
But see, Nicki Minaj will do what drives Donnie P and everyone crazy is Nicki Minaj will rhyme, hey, I'm gonna go hang out at my car, and then I'm gonna go drive in my car, then I'm gonna go park in my car, and that's not rhyming because he can't say the same word and rhyme with it. That's annoying. Go ahead, Jake.
Prove them wrong, didn't you?
Hey, I want to send a special happy birthday out there to a lovely lady, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh.
Oh my God, is it her birthday?
If
It
you're
is Sarah
watching.
Michelle Gellar's birthday.
Buffy?
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Jake.
Yeah, you will address her. You will address her by her proper title of Vampire Slayer,
Yes. Oh my God.
the chosen
obsessed with
one.
Buffy.
You are looking
Great
very
show.
gothic these days. You need your haircut too. But you look beautiful.
Why do I need my haircut just because you don't have any?
Happy birthday,
geez.
Colleen.
Thank you.
48. Let's go over to you.
I'm sorry, what?
Whoa!
Oh.
Dude, seriously,
Shame for you.
you've got to be wearing out a divot in that couch. Like, this is like your first year of marriage, man. Just
Oh my
know.
God.
take it slow.
Producer Holly, go ahead.
Mama Judy says hi and she loves everyone, but most
Hi, Mom.
importantly, happy birthday, Colleen.
Yeah.
Thank you. I got clawed by Holly and Brittany.
So
Look, she's
I got to tell you, I'm a little bit older than Colleen, right? So we go to Cedar Point, and we decide.
I'm pretty sure that I said if you ever tell this story that I was going to shank you.
I think we've.
Whoa!
yeah. That's
You
been like
have my
5
attention.
stories so far.
Tell the story.
Okay.
Tell the
No,
story.
Mom,
but
when
you
you're
have to put
drinking
it-
claw.
You have to put it in the right context because you went first.
I did go. You're right. So we go to the where they guess your weight or guess your age or whatever. So I go and they guess my age,
Oh.
and they guess it at 38. So I win the stuffed animal, right? So then Colleen goes.
And they know we're married.
Colleen goes, and they put her at 42.
But that's because Andrew
sorry.
said that he was 49.
Oh my
But
God.
I'm sorry.
I thought this was going to be one of those where they mistook her for your daughter stories.
Yeah, that's what I thought where this was going. Dear Penthouse.
So they
That has happened.
So they missed Colleen by a decade. So now, whenever she tries to get on me about my age, I always tell her, "Well, I mean, it's the way you look." So we always go by Cedar Point age. Obviously, and she's older than I am. It's tough to be old.
Hey, Colleen. Hey, Colleen, just look on the bright side. In a few short years, it'll be really cheap to go out on dates because he'll get a senior discount.
He was already a cheap date.
Go ahead, Donnie P.
So I'm a huge Cedar Point fanatic,
Yes.
and we go all the time. And I've got 4 kids, so I don't really spend a lot of money on the games and stuff because
Right, no.
it could get out of control. But that's the guessing game is the one game that I will splurge on because it's like $5, $10 a guess, and I can usually get them with my weight or my age. And so between Ashley and I, we've got you got weight, you got height, and Ashley's she's not afraid to do the weight, but like if we win one, we've got to win 3. Okay.
I know because you had 3 kids.
Yeah.
So
try being honest.
So last year, it's a similar situation to you. We won 2, and then the lady was crushing us, just killing us. I'm like dropping $10 after $10,
No.
and they're running out of stuff to guess. So I look at Ashley and I go, "It's time," and she's like, "No," because she feels like she looks a little older than I gotta be quiet. She feels like she looks older than she actually is. I'm like, babe, you got to do this for the kids, and I'm not going to tell you what the guesser said, but they all got stuffed animals that day.
They guessed under Donnie, correct? Right.
Right.
No, they guessed so far under.
right.
They were like, "You're clearly 18." They were
Well,
like-
it's so funny. It's funny you say that because I always thought Ashley was younger than what she is.
Oh, well, I'll tell her you said that.
Yeah, Christine, go ahead.
I'm gonna say if I've done those guess your weight games and all that, and they always just seem to air out on there. They can't guess this. It's like when I step on a scale and it goes too big. Step off.
It's too much muscle.
You know what we call guys like you, Tifa, when you go to amusement parks? We call you single rider.
Airbags.
Single rider. They're always trying to fill cars. And they're like, we need a single rider, and he's single rider.
I'm okay. I am perfectly okay with that status.
Oh my God.
A car all to myself.
You're forever single rider.
Oh my God, that's
Oh.
amazing. That's the new Forever
worst.
Alone.
Yes.
That's the worst porn name ever.
All right, so
Or the best, depending on what kind of porn you're doing.
that's true. All right, so anyway, so we're talking about this NASCAR guy, and we got way off track, but the NASCAR guy. So he's racing a video game, NASCAR video game on live television. I think it was on Fox. And here's what happened.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh,
Here's
shoot.
what happened.
Oh,
He
wait,
goes
wait.
silent.
Wait, hold on. I'll get it.
You don't hear me at all. I can see it. You can't hear me? Hey, nigger.
You didn't even censor that. Sorry, FCC.
Did you censor that?
No,
He did not.
no.
Oh, you're going to
Couldn't find a radio edit of that or something.
Well, no.
Oh my God.
Drop. We're just dropping the hard R's to our audience, man.
Well,
Holy-
here's the thing, dude. You're live on television, so let's do
I can
this.
see it. You can't hear me? Hey, nigger.
No, I thought you were going to bleep it again.
Yeah, let's not
So-
do that again.
So what happened was
Let's get the doctor back on here.
He's-
See.
Jesus.
he's got his he's got his pit crew or whatever. He's trying to talk to him, and first off, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm like, well, if you apologize, it's okay. But it came out, but it came out so freely, like that was the go-to. So go ahead, Danny Crumb.
Well, here's the thing: if you're rich, you just have to follow 2 rules, and your life is going to be amazing. Don't sexually assault people, and don't be racist. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and you keep your
It's
money.
really hard.
For some people, it is.
Yeah, you get to keep the money. You keep doing your dream job and making millions of dollars. Just don't be racist and don't sexually assault. I mean, I've went 30-something years without doing either one, and it's been amazing. I don't understand it.
Go ahead, Jake Dickey.
Well, first off, he's barely a NASCAR driver, and now he's no longer in NASCAR. They fired him.
Right.
So
As they
he's
should
not
have.
gonna be- No, absolutely. But he's not going to be. He's not as rich as you think. So that didn't help his cause by any means.
Well, but his next contract, they're saying, was going to be a huge fat contract, and now he got fired. He's not going to get to that huge fat contract. Go ahead, Tiefel.
Well, I was going to say the guy was essentially playing Mario Kart.
I know.
All right. And I've always been under the impression that under that context, it was okay to say that because what else do you call Bowser when he triple turtles you? Okay.
Oh my God.
No.
No.
you
No.
don't. Sugar Vermont,
No.
go ahead.
I was just going to say it's terrible, but I would not encourage celebrities to stop being stupid and doing things like that because my Paula Deen outfit at Halloween was everything. Howdy, y'all. I'm just here to butter your little biscuit. Now listen, I've gotten a lot of trouble before. I'm not going to say the N word. I'm not going to say, oh my God, I'm going to say it. Nutrition. Now listen, I got a Paula Deen recipe, y'all. It's a nice white cake. All you need is some white power flour.
That's the hard thing, white.
Some white sugar and some butter. Now listen, y'all, you pop it right in the oven. It's gonna give y'all diabetes and cure it in the same bite. You just put a little insulin on it.
Oh my God, you have to bring back the Paula Deen character. You got to dress up like her, though. Danny Crumb, go ahead.
Well, I say this has to be a message to racists everywhere: is you need to, if you can't keep your job in NASCAR being racist,
okay.
you can't keep your job anywhere being racist because if there's one fan base that's going to embrace it, it's going to be the NASCAR fan base.
Go ahead, Colleen.
That's where I was going. Is if you could show me one NASCAR fan person, any part of NASCAR that's not a racist redneck, I'd love to see it.
All kinds of
that was going close to the same as the other way.
That was married to one of those.
That was judgmental.
It was very judgmental. Although I did think he would get a raise after
Happy
that for
birthday,
NASCAR.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to judge a bunch of people that enjoy watching cars go in a circle.
Go ahead, Jake Dickey.
So if you listen to the rest of the clip, you'll actually
gonna-
hear some of the other NASCAR drivers. They're like, "Dude, you're live," and they start like getting on him about it. Like, "Oh no, good God, no!"
Here it goes.
Hey, nigger.
Stop!
You have to stop
Why
that.
did you? And you started it
Stop
like
playing
right.
it.
Stop it!
Shh, stop. Let me play it.
Wow, pig. Kyle, you're talking to everyone, bud.
Kyle.
You just lost your job, bud.
Kyle.
And who needs a spotter in a video game?
Hey, Kyle.
That bad at looking at the screen?
You're talking to everyone, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever done it though, where let's say you think you hang up a phone call or you send a text message, and then you hope you don't send it or something? You know that feeling you get? That dude got that feeling on live national television.
Oh my
He's like,
God.
Saying something racist.
Go ahead, Gina.
So I got fired for that once.
What do you mean?
Gina, what did you do?
I
I'm not
was
saying the N-word, I'm assuming.
No. My kids are mixed. That would be awful.
I know.
I'd have to get fired from being their mother if I said that. So I was a customer service rep, and the other customer service lady was left a message for this guy, and she hung up. I'm like, no, that's not it. This guy's a real asshole. This is what you need to tell him, blah, blah, blah. And she hadn't hung up the phone. So let me tell you.
Oh, my God.
This is really important information for everybody to know. If you're ever in that situation, if you push pound, it will give you the option to delete that message or to re-record. Okay? So don't ever just hang up. So before I could say anything to her, she just hung the phone up, and that was on his voicemail, and he called to complain, and they fired me.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Go ahead, Teeful.
I feel bad for Gina there. On that one. Oh gosh, what was I going to say? You know what? I'll just pivot to a similar. I'll just pivot to us.
I'll just pivot.
No, you hang up.
No, you hang up. No, I was gonna say, does anyone else miss the late '90s, early 2000s when you had like 30 seconds to take back a text message?
Right?
Cancel.
I know.
Like,
hey, even now, how many times have you dialed someone? It goes right through now. Like in the old days, you would dial somebody, and then you'd have like 3 or 4 seconds to hang up, and it would never connect. Dude, it connects instantly now. People are like, "Hey, I just had a missed call from you." Damn, no, I didn't. I just hit it for 1 second. I don't know why did it connect. All right, so this dude's like, "Hey, Kyle,
are you gonna start it at the bad part again?"
No.
Don't.
Kyle, you're talking to everyone, bud. Yeah, we heard that.
Yeah, we heard that, Kyle.
That was the guy who's posting it.
Kyle.
Not here, Alex.
Are they all on like a
I can see it. You can't hear me? Hey, nigger.
Oh, is it again? Did he say it again?
Andrew, stop playing this
Did he
clip.
say it
Yes.
Andrew, you have to stop it.
Did he say
Yeah,
it twice?
let's not play the clip.
We gotta stop
Get
playing
your
this clip,
clips
man.
from like CNN or MSNBC or something, not
Jesus.
Fox.
Stop. We're all adults. I didn't want the one to say it. Give me a break. Go ahead, Gina. What were you gonna say?
From a marketing standpoint, this goes back to what Sugar had said a little bit ago about NASCAR fans. NASCAR has been working so hard to get rid of that image. And I mean, for years now, they've been battling. And that's why he's not going to have a job. It's not because he's not going to be embraced or anything like that. It's because NASCAR is going to, set themselves backwards.
Well, they suspended him on Sunday. I think this happened on Saturday. They suspended him on Sunday. And then Monday, all his sponsors dropped, like Chevrolet and all these sponsors dropped. So then the team either was forced to either go bankrupt or fire him, and they fired him. And like I said, he's 27 years old. He's a young guy, and he really had a chance to sign his next contract and be like this huge contract, and now he's not working. But can you rehabilitate from that? I mean,
I don't know. Should we ask Paladine?
In the South.
He shouldn't be able to.
No, there's that. There's that dude down south who's who like befriended a bunch of KKK dudes and brought him back over from the brink.
No, did he?
Yeah.
Well, that's one of those things where it's like, how long? Because he's definitely going to be out of work for a while, but he will get another chance. It's like, how long should he be like shunned
Right. Exactly.
to learn his lesson?
I mean, no matter how bad the word is, I mean, is it a death sentence? Is it a life?
Yes.
Is it a life sentence?
Well, should he never be able to work again? I mean, that's
he should never be able to. He shouldn't be able to work in entertainment in the public eye again. No, because I mean, he's 27 years old. it's not like he's 15 and just now learning the world. He's 27, and that word came out, like was said, so freely, and it rolled right off his tongue. It's something that he absolutely says in private all the time, and the one time he got caught, he's done. And let's say, like, and we're going to talk about wrestling later. But I'm the biggest WWE fan in the world, and I grew up loving and respecting and being a huge fan of Hulk Hogan. When that tape came out of Hulk Hogan, I said, F Hulk Hogan. I will never support him again.
Really?
I will never buy any of his merchandise or watch his shows. It's hard to even watch his matches because his image is now sullied.
Because he's 72 years old.
Well, I mean,
he's still wrestling.
No, I'm talking about his older matches. Like, it's hard to watch his older matches. I watch a lot of WWE Network.
It did roll off that dude's tongue, though.
Yeah.
All right. So here's a local
it is
story.
important.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's important to point out that he only got fired only because of the money. They had originally just suspended him. They didn't care that he said the word. They right. Your corporation doesn't care what you said. They just care that it lost them money.
Well,
I mean,
here's the thing, Tifel, too, is you've had two examples now of why raising your hand is so important.
Well, excuse me. Not everyone's been raising their hand today. So,
all right. So here's a local story. A prominent Toledo child and adolescent psychiatrist has had his license revoked by the State Board of Ohio for improperly prescribing medications for patients and not properly reporting the prescriptions. Timothy Valco of Valco and Associates. Dude, when your name's on the business, I think it's pretty much kind of done. It's on Executive Parkway. Has had his license permanently revoked in a March 11th ruling by the board. Valco is appealing the decision, but he said he was failure to maintain minimal standards applicable to the selection of administration of drugs or failure to employ acceptable scientific methods in the selection of drugs or other modalities for treatment or designs. The incident in question happened when a patient who was prescribed a large dose of a stimulant from September 15th of 2015 through July of 2016. And so he's got his license suspended. He graduated from the University of Toledo, and he's kind of screwed a little bit. Go ahead, Sugar. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I mean, is his office still open? Are there other people that work there? Because, I mean, come on.
That's what's interesting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sugar. That's what's interesting, too, is that when the building is named after a person, I mean, you do kind of depend on that person, right, Donnie P?
Well, yeah.
No, my
Sports Pizzeria.
My last doctor had his license revoked for the same thing.
Really?
Yes, and he was my favorite doctor because I just told him what I wanted and he gave it to me.
Oh, we have a phone call. Hello?
Hello?
Hi. So your son went to see this doctor?
Yes, he did see this doctor. It was about 8 years ago, and he saw him for about, well, it actually was longer than that because he went to see Dr. Valco for about 2 to 3 years, and he was put on Focalin, a low dose, the starting out dose, and maybe every month, 2 months, he wasn't getting any better, so talking to Dr. Valco, he wanted to increase it. And this went over probably 2-3 years. And he started to get tics. So instead of addressing the situation, because I asked to be put on a different medication to switch, he's like, well, let's just add this medication to help with this. Obviously he's had some other problems. Before he started with Dr. Valco, he was on one medication, and he switched it to Focalin. Okay, not a problem. He's a doctor. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
And then afterwards, like 3 years later, he was on a total of 6 different medications to mask the effects of the Focalin and the tics it was doing, the side effects. Wow. And I said to Dr. Valco, I didn't know no more. We need to switch medications. Obviously, so there's a problem here. He was up to 80 milligrams of Focalin in one day.
Oh,
throughout
wow.
the day, but it was 80 milligrams. So,
and he was 10 years. He was 10.
Go ahead.
He was 10 years old.
He was when we left there. He was 10 going on 11. And we took him down to Vet Center and seen Dr. Huddy. And he asked us. He said, "Well, what prescriptions is he on?" And of course, with a new doctor, you just tell him what kind of prescriptions. And he said, wait a minute, he's on how many milligrams? And we're like, well, 40 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon. He had to go down to the nurse's office and take his 10 milligrams. And then again, after school, he had to be on 30 milligrams just to keep him focused to do schoolwork. He said, wait a minute, is he on 80 milligrams of Focalin? I'm like, yeah. He said, you do know that an adult who is like 20 years old, 18, 20, should not be on any more than 40 milligrams.
Wow, he had doubled his dose.
He doubled the dose of an adult for a 10-year-old.
Wow, that's crazy. Thank you for your call. I appreciate it. I would keep you on longer, Heidi, but I don't know why I'm getting a bad echo, so it's on my fault, so I apologize. But wow, that's crazy. Double the dose as a 10-year-old of what an adult would get. Thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate it. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that dude. So anyway, so we'll see if that dude gets his license back. But
I hope he does.
Why? What do you mean?
No reason. I'm not gonna try and get Adderall from him.
Oh, stop! Come on.
She needs a dealer.
Come on, you need a dealer. All right. What else? All right, let's talk WWE real quick. So this moron governor from Florida. This guy, he's one of the last. I don't think he ever fully shut down the state. He never fully shut it down. He left the beaches open forever through spring break, so everyone could COVID all over each other. Of course, it's spring.
Like how it's a verb.
At spring break, I mean, that's probably the least of your worries is the Rona. But anyway, so he left it open. The cases in Florida skyrocketed. I don't think he ever closed the place. Now he's saying that WWE is an essential activity, and they are opening it up during the Rona problem. This moron.
Jesus.
Now, Denny, you are a fan of WWE. What do you think of this?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you look at what's going on, what the state is trying to say they're doing is they're trying to start opening up sports back up. They're even looking at the avenue of trying to get baseball going and stuff back down there. Yeah, and it's ridiculous, and it's BS, because actually what's really going on is the WWE has a contract with Fox worth $205 million a year, and what happened was Linda McMahon, who was in the Trump administration, married to Vince McMahon. Mm-hmm. She is the head of the Small Business Administration and also runs a Trump super PAC. Promised to put $18.5 million into Florida for the Trump re-election campaign. And right after that, WWE is deemed essential and are able to go back to doing live shows. Now, what had been going on the previous weeks, the WWE taped everything for like 2 weeks out. They even taped WrestleMania, and these shows have been very mediocre. But there have been like 2 or 3 that were like really good. WrestleMania was actually really good for what it was, but it's different without fans. But now they're going back. They have 3 live shows that they got to do: Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And now they're going back to actually coming in every Monday night, coming in every Wednesday and Friday night, and doing these shows live from their performance center in Orlando, Florida.
So
that's crazy.
It is. It's
ridiculous.
No matter. We talked about sports. I mean, okay, you find another way to do it. You know what they should be doing is you should be playing the video game sports. Like Hulk Hogan should be playing with himself, or not playing with himself.
My God.
I don't know. That's not
that video leaked.
It's not the right words. Go ahead, Sugar Vermont.
Well, I have questions because I am super gay, and the gays don't do the sports generally.
Right.
So they're literally gonna have a full stadium with the fans in it. No. Well, that's not as terrible as I thought. But my other question, I think they should just modify it more. If you're gonna change it up. Like, can they wrestle in a pool of lube, for example? Can they take off their pants?
Now is the time to experiment. I would say, Denny, go ahead.
Well, and what makes it worse is the WWE in particular does not have to do this because they have 40, 50 years, literal years, where you could sit and watch it in 40 or 50 years from now and not get up, and you still wouldn't be able to get to the end of all of it worth of content that they could just put on there.
Yeah.
And in place, they don't have to keep making new material.
Right.
And then on top of that, you feel bad because some of the more popular, more famous wrestlers, they pretty much have the option to not do it. Roman Reigns dropped out of WrestleMania, and because he has a autoimmune deficiency because he just got recovered from leukemia, and but the lower level wrestlers who don't really have much of an option,
yeah, they gotta go.
Oh, sorry.
no, I said they got to go in.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. They got to go in. Yeah. I mean, everybody remembers what happened to Owen Hart back in 1999.
Yes, we do. Yes.
you, Donnie.
Well,
He fell from the rafters.
Yeah. If you don't remember, he's the one who fell from the rafters and died in the ring, and the show literally kept going.
It was they pulled him out. Well, that was the best fake death I've ever seen on WWE. It was crazy.
Wait.
The show kept going, and his wife still maintains the fact that he was pressured into doing it because he felt like if he said no, there was going to be a younger person that would have said yes and did the stunt and took his spot.
Yeah. Jake Dickey, go ahead.
Maybe they'll do it like a hardcore hand sanitizer match where they wrestle in it.
Or hand sanitizer.
That would be great.
If that's not already a brand of hand sanitizer, it needs to be
hardcore hand sanitizer.
Wait, I think you just squirted hand sanitizer. Oh, that wasn't hand sanitizer. Oh my God, what is going on?
It's in his eyes.
It's in his eyes. Sugar Vermont, go ahead.
Can I just say that although hand sanitizer does look exactly like lube, it is not. Please don't use it. That stings. That does not work in a pinch. If you're in a pinch situation, just a little spit maybe. Don't go for the hand sanitizer.
So my question is how you know.
Yeah, this sounds like an accident that went wrong.
No.
If you're trying,
I don't think that's a warning label on the bottle.
Well, it should be.
If you're trying to practice safe stuff, then why not use sanitizer, hand sanitizer?
Trial and error.
Because it stings.
Just use Bengay instead.
Oh, Denny Crumb, go ahead.
So one last thing about the wrestling thing
God,
is
no, please.
Well, so I was gonna say WWE coming from a WWE fan, shut it down. Start back up when all this is over.
Are you talking about this conversation? Yes,
we can
I
wait.
agree.
Yeah, everything about. All right, I'm done.
Leave Denny alone.
I don't get to talk about wrestling very much.
Denny,
Yes.
I feel like you should send Andrew tons and tons and tons of messages all day long about wrestling.
Please.
Let's send them clips.
Please.
Old Stone Cold Steve Austin promos.
Hey,
I'm wearing a Steve Austin shirt, by the way, because I knew we were talking about this.
We should do a whole show on wrestling. WWE.
There you go.
I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts, Andrew.
No, you.
I do.
All right, go ahead, Jake.
There's all kinds of them.
What were you gonna say?
Austin 316 says, "I just sanitized your ass."
Go ahead, Donnie.
Denny, I was just wondering if you could keep it quick. Who's your favorite wrestler and why?
Bastard.
What's got you?
If I gotta say all time, it's The Rock.
The Rock.
Ooh.
Hey, Donnie, how close is Ashley to you?
She's all the way upstairs.
Oh, okay. So then it's
I
safe
can
to
yell
tell
for
you.
her.
Well,
Oh.
no, it's just totally safe to tell you that I was asked today if I could get your number to give it to some chick because you're hot.
Oh, I'll make sure to tell her that.
Yeah, don't tell her.
Anyone
She
ask
needs
you
to
for
know.
my number?
Oh,
Chris?
I'm married. She doesn't think I'm hot anymore. Come on, you know how that works.
So hey, did you guys see this? My mom went and got gas today in the car. $1.09 at Costco. $1.09. What? When's the last?
It's fun
time-
because we can't go anywhere.
I know. That's a good point. Go ahead, Tifo.
Oh, I just because you made me wait so long, I'm going to bring back the WWE. No, not only is this the bringing the wrestling back, and that's horrible because of the health consequences, but it's going to be the B Squad. Who's going to watch that?
I don't know.
Right. They're bringing back the juniors. People can't say no.
Hold on. You brought it back for that? That was like the big.
I was on the spot. I was on the spot, and I was being vindictive.
Hey, Tifo.
Oh my God.
You're like Colleen.
Tifo, was your ex-girlfriend, the only one you had, Nicole, was she a WWE fan? Is that how you know so much about it?
No, first off, not the only one. All right. Secondly,
Just the only
I was a
one- only-
WWF fan.
She's just the only one that would go out with him in public. Sugar Vermont, go
Chris
ahead.
was a fan of the World Wildlife Fund.
Go ahead,
She was
Sugar.
the
Sugar, what were you gonna say?
I have no idea.
You think about gas? Was it $1.09 gas?
Yes. Oh my God, the gas.
Oh.
Thank you. So I kind of had assumed that it was because of the Rona, right? Like nobody's driving, whatever.
Right.
It's actually Russia and OPEC have split and are having a price gouging war and a production war over barrels of oil. So like, they're both trying to flood the market with oil to screw over the other one, and like
I don't know.
She's a master of suspense.
So it benefits us.
So the problem is
Reaping the benefits.
The problem is the show. It has an interesting meter, and so it'll freeze you up and stop your conversation when you're not interesting anymore.
It didn't stop me once when I was talking about WWE.
Wait, did it not get any of that? Because it was really important.
It was just way too highbrow for
It
us.
was too highbrow. Go ahead, Donnie.
It's a wrestling show.
That was it.
Oh God.
It was going to be educational, and they decided to cut it.
How about Russian bots?
We're the only ones that can actually edit the show during a live stream.
You bastards.
We have that technology. Oh,
It's just liberal censorship of facts.
if there aren't two more countries that I hate more, Saudi Arabia and Russia, I couldn't give two damns if they ever sold another barrel of oil, either one of them. It's both miserable. All right,
But it works to our advantage.
Yeah, I guess it does. Donnie P, go ahead.
I don't know. Speaking of oil, did you guys hear about that meme going around today on Facebook?
No.
What's the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi?
What?
People in Dubai don't like the Flintstones, but people in Abu Dhabi do.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't get it.
All right, I gotta go to bed. Good night.
Wait, I don't get it.
Abu Dhabi do? Like Yabba Dabba do?
Quarantine must be getting to me because that was extra funny.
Over my head.
Producer Holly, go ahead.
Oh, about Sugar's oil thing? They're actually running out of places to store the oil.
Yeah, it's really, really great for the American consumer.
Yeah.
But I mean, not good for them.
Especially the broke ones.
But it's
Yeah.
it's terrible for the oil companies.
Well, yeah,
Like, I
what
don't
they're
get
actually
two
doing
Fs.
is, what they're trying to do is disrupt the American oil companies because they've been fracking so much and getting cheap oil. So they're trying to, one of the reasons it's happening is because they're trying to disrupt that. But I mean, I don't care. Fail American oil companies, whatever.
I don't care. Fail all oil companies.
No.
I don't care. I don't want to go nowhere anyway.
I think that might be treason.
Electric for life. Electric for life. I'm ready.
I still have a job. I have places to go, Sugar.
Oh yeah, you are the one. All right, so we're supposed to take our break, but I'm supposed to, Johnny Rodriguez. We have a musical guest right now, Johnny Rodriguez, and over the weekend, this poor guy couldn't get connected because his sound was bad, and then we checked him out about an hour ago, and he sounded perfect, and now I don't know where he's at, and he's disappeared on us.
Johnny, come back.
Johnny Rodriguez, we're trying to get a break in. All right, this portion of the show brought to you in part by New Power Property Services. They do cleaning and sanitation. Also, Get Fit Nutrition. If you need to get a shake on, they're in Maumee. They have morning hours. So if you want to get a shake in the morning, if you want to get a drive, get out of the house for a minute, you can go see them at DMX Lawn and Landscape as well. They are our landscapers. They did our lawn this week and did such a fantastic job. Go ahead, Dickie. Or I'm sorry, Tiefel.
Oh, you bastard.
Oh, I didn't have. I accidentally hit that. We're good. I got nothing.
It was his stomach.
Donnie P.
Rude.
This one's
No
for Gina.
fat jokes.
This one's for Gina. I just saw you sipping on a red Solo cup. I just want to know what's in there.
Oh.
Yeah, Gina.
Diet Coke.
It's Crystal Light. It's nothing fun.
Crystal Light with a little bit of
Because
vodka.
I don't, Donnie, I don't drink anymore. You didn't know that?
I saw that on Facebook, but I don't believe that stuff.
I don't even know.
No,
if I
it's
knew
true.
that.
100% true. I have not drank in over 2 years.
I was gonna say I thought it was 2
Once
years.
it's once it's on Facebook, it's automatically a lie. How do you, Gina?
That's true. Sugar Vermont, go ahead.
No, Gina, you were stuttering. You're like, it's Crystal. I was like, is this what you're about to say, crystal meth? Is that why she sounds like Gina?
Yeah, can you
Sorry,
tell
Gina,
by my
come on back.
Can't you tell by my crackheadish figure all the crystal meth that I do?
I don't know. You're Southside Gina,
She got herself a gallon of crystal meth.
right? Like a big slurp.
So I can do nothing with more energy? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Go ahead, Danny Crum.
If she's found a way to liquidize crystal meth, I mean, I think we, as a show, are going to be very rich.
There she goes, drinking it again.
I know.
The meth hit.
I keep making my kid get me more, and she keeps bringing me a half a cup, and I keep trying to explain to her if she brings me a full cup, I won't keep making her do it.
You leave Gabby alone.
Jake Dickey, go ahead.
It's Bella.
So they've actually made Viagra into a liquid form.
Really?
What?
Yeah, so you can go home and pour yourself a stiff one.
Stupid slut.
Very nice.
Dickie, you can't have dad jokes if you're not a dad.
I mean,
we don't know that he's not a dad.
No, it's true. All right, here's what I want to talk about too: is we got if you're one of those that has season passes for Cedar Point, as we do. Donnie P is a huge Cedar Pointer.
Huge.
We got an email today, and they made it official that this season, which is the 2020 season, if you bought season passes, you're going to get the 2020 season and the 2021 season. And for those who know me, you know I've been bitching about Cedar Point last year because they did these $99 gold passes. So these cheap bastards, not only did they get $99 to finish out last season, so you got last season for $99, all of this season whenever they open for $99, then all of next season for the same goddamn $99.
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
And Donnie, you can testify to this. At the end, towards the end of the year, you had to park all the way out, all the way by the ticket booths.
It got kind of crazy towards the end there.
Oh man, I couldn't help it.
And if I walked by one more person, and I smoke, walked by one more person smoking a cigarette in line, blowing it in your face, or the damn weed.
I know these people don't know how to take. They have nice things now. It's almost like we gave them something nice for cheap, and now they're abusing it. It's like, this is our park. We've been here for several seasons, and now all of a sudden you're gonna come in and just smoke and bring your rat kids and your.
Well, speaking of everyone in the rat kids, if you don't have season passes yet, you know you can still buy them, and they will be good for this year and next year.
Donnie, I'm going to kill you.
I know.
I'm going to kill you. Ask Ashley if she has life insurance on you, because that's happening.
Go ahead, T.
I don't even.
I'm right there with you guys, because I don't know how many times things have been ruined for me when the poor's got access.
I know.
Oh my god, that is what you guys are saying. I'm like, sad.
T-Bow's letting his old conservatism come out in him.
So I do want a disclaimer, because we the poor folk over here, and we wouldn't.
Yeah, Miss, we can afford season passes every year. We're the poor folk. You just had lawn service. You're not poor.
So Donnie P, what do you think about this whole season pass thing?
I think it's fantastic, honestly. Yeah, I mean, the crowds were kind of crazy towards the end of the last year, but I really think it will even out, because once people have season tickets, instead of spending $70 just to go one day, you kind of go for a couple hours here, a couple hours there. I think it'll end up balancing itself out, and there's always room for us to enjoy the park. You know, if it's really crazy, you just got to go early, or maybe stay a little bit later than you normally would.
Right. Go ahead, Colleen.
Donnie, do you always see the glasses half full?
Always.
That's
why he's one of my favorites.
Because your cheery optimism is.
You should have heard him. You should have heard him turn me down for a car loan. It's the most positive experience I ever had.
You're going to get tons of more exercise walking everywhere.
I remember there was a time.
Your heart's going to be in such better shape. It's going to be good for you walking everywhere. I'm telling you, man.
I found an unscrupulous guy to get me fat.
I remember I was like 21 years old, and I was running my first radio station. I'd kind of run one before, but this is like I was all in, like the only guy. And it was me and then the owner. And we had to fire the afternoon guy. So it was the first time I've ever had to fire somebody. And this dude was like, at the time, he was like 20 years older than me. So he was like 40 and I was like 20 something. And, he's been doing radio his whole life, and I got to fire this dude, and it's a small market. I don't know if he's going to get another job. So I ended up pulling him in the office, and I swear to God, dude, I started crying. And this dude was like, it's okay, man. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. He was apologizing to me.
Dude, I got fired that way once.
What happened?
I got fired once, and the guy was like, felt really bad about it, and he was crying. And I was like, it's all right, man.
all right.
I kind of suck. It's okay. I get it.
Oh my god.
I kind of suck. You try making it easy. Even Donnie's trying to make it easy for the poor guy. Go ahead,
Spend most
Danny.
of the day on the internet.
Did it feel worse firing that guy or when you got fired?
I've been,
Which time?
I've been fired a few times, so yeah.
Does it get easier each time?
Yeah, well, no. You know, the last one, I kind of got blindsided because they're like, hey, just go on vacation early. It's good. I'm like, oh, I'll take a little vacation early. That's kind of, man, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, don't worry. And Matt's like, hey, dude, only take a couple extra days. Thanks, dude. And then like the week, we're on a 2-week Christmas vacation, and first week goes by. I'm like, wow, Matt usually calls me, but now he hasn't called me. And then about 3 or 4 days before we're about to go back, hey, man, I can't wait to get back, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah. Why don't you come on in? Why don't you come on in? And I've had to come on in before. I knew the hammer was getting dropped at that point. Go ahead, Donnie.
It was crazy because, well, I got 2 points on this. Well, first off, from KISS, there's firing, and then there's getting your contract not renewed. So you technically, Andrew wasn't fired for KISS.
Good point. Good point.
He did his time.
Yeah.
And,
literally.
It was time to move on.
They just parted their ways. But
true.
when
Are you enjoying your time in prison? Why don't you
guys
stick around?
So 100% true story. When people ask me what happened at Star 105, you know, I don't ever use the word fired. Speaking of glass half full, I say the show was canceled.
Oh, I love it. Go ahead, Jake. Dick, you were gonna say.
So that is still my favorite roast joke from me during your roast at the Funny Bone. We were doing the show out of your basement at one point in time, in between stations, and this is when you and Michelle, the second Michelle, were having problems.
Yes,
and my roast joke was, "Hey, Andrew, you can't get divorced because that's just going to be one more station we all get fired from."
We were using the basement. Sugar Vermont, go ahead.
I just think you guys are a bunch of pussies. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I did.
No, you're not.
Because listen, I used to manage McDonald's. I fired many people, and quite frankly, it was a joy.
I'm guessing,
some people enjoy it.
I'm guessing it was McDonald's. I'm sure it was a mutual joy. Wait,
listen though, that was a job perk. If they get that bad to that point where like I'm actually firing you, like I'm like goodbye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
So wait, so I don't have to come into this dump anymore, and I'm gonna get paid my unemployment. Thank you for firing me.
No, they never got it. Well, one person got it, but I did like 3 appeals through the courts because I was giving him a penny.
Tifo, go ahead.
I was going to say, you're no longer allowed to be the arbiter of what we can or cannot say on the air after playing the N-word like 5 times. Like purposely rewinding it and playing it again.
I never agree with Tifel, and I think I agree with him.
Okay. Couple things. There's this, did you guys see this pastor who decided that he was going to have church? Didn't matter. God's going to protect you. Well, he's in Virginia, and he held his church service, and he's died of coronavirus now.
No way.
I swear.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's sad, but I mean, at least there's an example of why you should actually stay the pumpkin at home. Come on now.
You should stay the pumpkin at home. That is true.
Okay.
And here's the other one. So today, Barack Obama finally endorsed Joe Biden. Full-throated, full-on, that's my guy. You know, you guys had to vote for him, blah, blah, blah. Joe Biden's the greatest or whatever. Well, I saw online that, you know, that Barack Obama could be Joe Biden's vice president.
Is that true though?
Yes.
I don't think it is.
I think it is.
Because what if Biden leaves office? I don't think doesn't that give him an illegal third term?
Well,
I think he can. He just can't.
Obama can, and he can become the president again if Biden leaves office. He just cannot be elected to a third term. That's what that amendment says.
But that's where the go ahead, Donnie P. We're gonna say.
Well, that'd be very dangerous for Joe Biden's life. Number one.
Right.
And number 2, That might be the only way he can beat the Trumpster.
Yeah.
is having Barack there. Well, there are some.
It's untested legal ground.
Yeah, exactly. There are some scholars saying so. They're saying that the ambiguity in the U.S. Constitution allows for speculation about a backdoor method of getting around presidential term limits. So it hasn't been tested, but they're saying, like Denny said, if he's not elected to a third term, if he's just he can 100% be vice president. I don't think there's any denial of that. But as far as being president again, that is untested legal ground. But they're throwing it out there online. They're throwing it out there. Go ahead, Jake Dickey.
But also, Joe Biden, I think, was on record promising that he was going to nominate a woman.
Yeah.
That is true. But, I mean, if Barack Obama becomes available, I don't think anyone would be like, oh, you said you was going to do a woman.
I think a lot of women would be pretty upset. He might lose the women vote.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think you would.
No, I don't think you would. The women love him.
He's always got Michelle to pick from.
Yeah.
It still puts the Obamas in the office.
Yeah, Denny Crum, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, Michelle, look out for Michelle, but being the VP. But also, one of the funny things I see is, Obama waited until everyone dropped out to endorse him. That's what he's supposed to do, because if Biden doesn't win the nomination, Obama doesn't have to pivot and endorse someone else. Obama was going to endorse whoever was the eventual nominee. If it went all the way to the DNC, Obama was going to wait until the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, to endorse him. That's what happens, because a sitting president or a former president, someone who's as popular as Barack Obama, his endorsement means a whole lot, and he wasn't going to put that endorsement out there until he knew who was going up against Donald Trump.
All right. Let's see. Sugar Vermont, go ahead.
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Jake Dickey, go ahead.
Well, another reason I think Obama did it too is, like he always said, he didn't want to divide the party.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He was going to wait till for that for sure.
And he said a lot of great things about Bernie during the thing that he put out. And Bernie came out and endorsed him, and him and Biden had that joint thing over the weekend where they talked about their campaigns, like meeting and exchanging ideas, try to come up with a middle ground or come up with a new platform that Biden's going to run on, that's going to hopefully incorporate some of Bernie's more progressive ideas, and hopefully unite the party, because we need the Bernie Bros to beat Trump. We need everybody to beat Trump.
I know, I agree. Trump is people think it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I mean, it's just
not at all.
His supporters are going to show up.
Yes.
And they're, oh man, I mean, seeing this, look at your Trump supporters Facebook posts. Like they will not admit that this guy, they still think that this guy did a great job handling COVID-19. And if you think that he's done a good job, like there's no way that you can look at any of the evidence and say, yeah, he's handled this correctly. That 70 days of doing nothing, it's fine.
I don't know. Sugar
he did not do nothing. He held rallies.
and went golfing. He went golfing too. Sugar Vermont, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of Biden's biggest obstacles is going to be the enthusiasm gap, and that's the same thing that killed Hillary.
Yep.
The Trump's voters, and I'm not making this up, Andrew. This is what the CNN polls just said. I think I was reading it yesterday, that the Trump supporters had like a 85% or something like that enthusiasm, and the Democrats had like something in the 30s. Like it's but not looking good.
But it's early on. I mean, as he's begins more momentum, there's no choice out there, that's going to go up. And here's the dumb crap. Like I see this, there's this girl that comes to my mind exactly. She's like, God, I can't stand Trump. He's against gay rights and against this and against this and against this. I just can't vote for Biden. Oh, okay, well, you know what you're doing, dumbass. You don't vote for Biden. You are giving a vote to Trump. So that logic makes my head explode. Go ahead, Colleen.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Hillary technically win the popular vote and not Trump? So what makes you think that Biden's not going to get that as well? Trump won by the Electoral College.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead, Donnie.
Which still exists.
Yes. Go ahead, Donnie P.
I think the biggest thing that Trump had going for him was that the whole social media thing, and they tried to take his Twitter away from him and all that. But I think he just really galvanized like some kind of a base that it snuck up on everybody. Really, like you're sitting there election night and you're just watching it, and wait, what's going on? So I feel like the Democratic Party, even going all the way back to Obama, just have always had trouble like with that social media, that touching that modern touch. So they really need to get Biden on board and get maybe just someone that whoever he runs with, someone that's kind of with it. I guess.
Dude,
does that make sense?
There's a funny meme out there right now that says it's Biden and Obama. Yeah, Obama's got his shoulder on Biden. He's like I just endorsed you, and then Biden goes, for what? Denny Crum,
oh my God!
Well, to answer Colleen, Hillary won by almost 3 million votes in the popular vote. But yeah, the Electoral College, 77,000 votes spread out over 3 states: Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. If those 3 states flip, then we're not putting up with this crap for the last 3 years. 77,000 votes, and there's a lot of things that went into that. Where Hillary didn't campaign in those states very well. She lost. Yeah, in Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania, she actually lost to Bernie in I think Wisconsin and Michigan in the primaries, and she ignored them, and she so there was a lot of things that went into that. But if we can just flip 77,000 votes in those 3 states, he can be beaten. But we're going to need the people to show up and be at least somewhat happy about it. And I'm going to be more happy to vote for Biden than I was for Hillary.
Go ahead, Tifo.
Well, it's not just like the modern stuff like Donnie was talking about earlier. Democrats overall, for like the past few presidential runs, have sucked at messaging. Like something happens, the Republican message about it gets around the world 5 times before the Democrat message about it goes out. They're mostly responding and trying to debunk rather than putting out their own message first.
That is a frustrating part, but I can't remember if that's really their fault, because when you have the presidential podium, the biggest bullhorn in the world, and you add social media, which wasn't around 10 years ago, I don't think there's any like there's no one.
I seem to remember
if
Twitter.
Pelosi says anything, who cares? There isn't anyone that's the president that says something, and I think whoever the next president is, it's going to be the same thing, whether it's Democrat or Republican. It's going to be even harder to get an opposing message across because you have the biggest stage in the world and social media on top.
Well, this goes for the Obama years too.
But anytime, okay. But was it the same then? I don't remember. But
because
social media was pretty big in 2012.
Yeah, but it goes for the Obama. And I'm not talking about just social media. I'm just talking about in general, in the news media, in print. They don't get their message out first, and they always end up responding.
But what I'm saying is, during the Obama years, wasn't it hard for the Republicans to get their messaging out as well? That's what I'm saying. Whoever's the president has a huge advantage to that, because if the president tweets something out, it's breaking news on every channel. There isn't anything that any Democrat could say that's in response to that that's going to get that kind of coverage.
Do you remember how many of the weird gotcha things, press conferences actually made headlines back in Obama's time? The tan suit incident, the Michelle Obama man arms BS, all that stuff was Republican messaging that came out of press conferences.
The coffee cup salute.
Exactly. Went around the world, and Democrats constantly were nipping at Republicans' heels, responding.
I don't doubt they are better at doing that stuff for sure. That the goofy stuff or whatever. Go ahead, Sugar.
I was just I'm checking on you. I'm making sure you're okay. I know that you are deeply in love with Biden and that he is your bae. And we were talking about like maybe weaknesses as a candidate, and your face just got so red. You got fired up. I thought you were going to read another 5-minute love letter to him.
Shut up, Sugar.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay to love Biden if you do, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Donnie P.
I just want to let you know that our politics timer actually went off.
Yes.
And, yes. Gina is here today, and there's something I want to talk about. If it's okay with you,
Gina?
with everybody while Gina's here, it has to do with the East Side.
Oh,
yes.
Go ahead.
So we talked about Cedar Point earlier, but there's another park in the works, a lot closer to home. There is plans to turn the entire Marina District into a metro park.
Are you talking about Opal Covey right now?
I know.
No, this came out like 2 days ago.
They get rid of my El Vaccaro?
No, all that stuff was.
There's like 3 others of those. You're fine.
Donnie, it didn't
Yes.
come out 3 days ago. They have been talking about that for over 2 years now.
Well, the whole plans came out. Like, did you see there's a picture? There's a reason I want to talk to you guys about this because, all right, they released like the photos and the map, and there's going to be trails, running trails. There's going to be an amphitheater, like a place to ice skate, a lot of stuff that you would see at your average metro park. But the funniest thing I saw was towards the end, over by the 280 bridge, they are going to have camping sites. So you can camp in the east side.
Oh my God.
They already have those on the east side, right there at the east side McDonald's. If you look up in those woods, there's a have that there. That's not even new.
All they got to do, is just start cubby holding underneath the 280 bridge because that's where they're hanging out.
God.
It's just not pimped out. Go ahead, Jake Dickey.
Man, when he said like down by the bridge, I was like, please say bungee jumping. Please say bungee jumping.
Go ahead, Gina. What were you gonna say?
I already said it. You'd take too long, so I just talked out of turn.
Wow,
So like that's basically for the upper class.
Well, what is the East Side missing? What else? So you got an amphitheater, you got camping.
It's missing a lot.
Missing a lot of class.
Oh, here it is. There it is.
Oh,
Wow,
fancy.
Tifel, that was fast.
God, Tifel's good.
Can I just say, I mean, it looks amazing and I hope it happens, but I moved to Toledo like 20 years ago. They've been talking about doing something with Marina District for 20 years.
Remember when the Chinese came in? The
Yes!
Chinese?
China.
Oh,
Okay.
hey.
I wonder if they brought the coronavirus to Lucas County.
All the Chinese investors brought to Toledo was that drag sushi place that's that's there now.
Are they still here? Are the Chinese still here? Because I'll tell you the truth. When they were here, they all lived in that hotel, or not lived. I'm sorry. They owned that hotel on the other side on downtown as well, and like they had a school in there, and they were up on the top floor.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, there was a lot of money being pumped in here. Did they just all go away? They just said they all packed up their rickshaws and left, or what? What happened? I don't even know.
Oh, you're listen, Andrew.
You're just dragging us down
you
the racist
are
hole.
you are towing the line.
Kyle Larson.
Jesus.
Is this thing on? Everyone can hear you.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, Donnie.
You're gonna get us shut down.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Well, so yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Chinese own it, but there's actually a bunch of condos down there, and they're starting to take applications. They're going to be opening up. People are actually going to be moving in down to those condos at the Marina District.
Well,
and there's a bar down there too. It's called like the Rusty Bucket of Nails or something like that. It's open.
Accurate.
You know what?
It's like $900 for a 2-bedroom apartment in there.
In Shank City?
Is that
Shank
cheap
City.
or is that expensive for Shank City?
I mean, I feel
know.
like that's kind of expensive for
Is it?
Toledo in general.
Well, here's a funny thing: is I always wanted to live. You see where you go to the docks, and then at the end there's those cool apartments that are right on the water. And I always wanted to like have a little apartment there, but everyone's like, "Oh, it's still the East Side." I'm like, "Those are sweet. They're right on the water. They're beautiful." But I wonder if the new condos, if it's got East Side pricing or it's got downtown pricing, because those are two different things for sure.
Downtown pricing.
Is it downtown pricing? All right.
Yeah.
Producer Holly, go ahead.
I'm not paying $900 a month to look at Michael's Cafe, Central Hot Dog, and McDonald's.
Right?
First of all, those are all delicious places. So how dare you? How dare you?
Sugar's like, name your price.
Oh my God.
I'll be there.
In Sugar's mind, it went up to like 1,400.
Okay, I'm like, okay, well, this could be worth it. Talk me into it.
Is there a way to get them to put an apartment above the McDonald's?
Well,
right?
There's a Taco Bell too. There's the Taco Bell and Burger King.
Go ahead, Danny P.
Sugar,
Oh my God.
Sugar, have you ever eaten at Central Hot Dog sober?
No. But
Okay,
I don't know.
That's why you said it's delicious. Okay.
This all sounds amazing, though. Like, how do I sign up for a campsite? I'm ready for this field trip.
Go ahead, Donnie P.
All right, you guys. Here's why it's so expensive. All right, you've got the close access to downtown.
Right.
Up the road is the casino. If you want a snack in the middle of the day, you walk over to the Rusty Bucket of Nails. It's just when you walk home, try not to step in a rusty pile of needles.
That was well thought out. Really
Thank you. I
quickly.
worked
Good
on that for a
job.
minute.
That was good, Donnie.
That's
Go
good.
ahead, Gina. What were you gonna say?
I again, just ignore my hand because I just talk now.
Oh,
It's just what I do.
all right. Anyone else got final thoughts before we wrap this thing up? Colleen already left. She left.
It's
She
her
ran
birthday.
out of White Claw.
Should we sing her happy birthday?
Yeah, no, she was. She's been drinking.
You guys don't want to hear that.
We went and had sushi. She got sushi to go from the Tea Tree Bistro for lunch, and she brought home a big old sake, and then there was a White Claw after that because Holly brought it for White Clawed. So I think she just passed out. I'm guessing. I don't know if she made it to the bedroom or if she's going to be sitting on the stairs. I have no idea what's going on.
She said it's 10 o'clock. It's time to clock out.
Exactly, Gina. Go ahead.
Right.
Oh, there she is.
Okay, two things. First of all, being on video on the show now, I realize that I definitely have resting bitch face. I see why people want to fight me. It's awful. Like, you guys are talking and you're being really funny, and I'm like straight stone face. But in my mind, I think I'm laughing. Like, I'm smiling. So I've been trying to make it a point for the last half of the show to just like and I feel dumb. Like, just sitting here.
And some light wouldn't hurt either. Go ahead, Sugar Vermont.
Well, I was just gonna let Colleen know, like, as Toledo's preeminent, morbidly obese drag queen Marilyn Monroe impersonator.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about myself.
What are you just collecting titles like they're candy?
Yes, I am.
She has
'cause
more
I
nick-
deserve them.
She has more nicknames than Apollo Creed.
But listen, I am more than willing to seductively sing happy birthday to her if that would, tickle her fancy.
I don't know where she went. Hello, Colleen. Go ahead, Denny. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, Gina, this is my first time I've seen you in a while. I can tell you the keto's working out good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're looking great.
80 pounds.
That's awesome.
I didn't know if we were allowed to say anything.
Damn, really, Tiefel? What?
I've set her off really easy on things,
She doesn't
so
like
I'm
you.
afraid to say things.
I know she doesn't like you for some reason.
You should be afraid, Tifo. I'm scared.
Go ahead, Jake Dickey.
So my final thought of the night was I got really excited at the beginning of the show. The board where Colleen sits and it shows everybody that's on the show. Under me, I was like, "Oh, Christ is on the show."
That's Chris
Yes.
T.
He
There's
has
supposed to be a
risen.
space. Oh, all right. Anyway, you guys. Well, anyone else got anything before we wrap up? Thank you guys so much. You guys were awesome tonight. I knew it. You could tell if we jump on here early and everyone's kind of bantering and won't shut up. I knew it's going to be a good show. So, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Chris Tiefel, thank you. Denny Crum, thank you.
More WWE tomorrow.
Whole half hour just to piss off Andrew.
Sugar Vermont, thank you.
Mwah.
Southside Gina. Colleen
Gina.
Z, Jake Dickey, Donnie P, and our wonderful producer Holly. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great night. Don't forget you can download any of the podcasts that you missed on anywhere you get your podcast tomorrow. And we'll be back tomorrow night at 9. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.